Good. I'm Deputy Jacoby, the Sheriff's Office. Stopped you because you driving tag or unregistered vehicle with no tag on it.
Is your camera on?
It is.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say, now that you say you look familiar, so.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
Okay. So, all right, folks. Well, have a good night. Staying over here in East Lake Woodlands?
We live in East Lake Woodlands.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you. So, I'm Deputy Jacoby.
Okay. Same here, my friend.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right.
Sorry
Take care.
to bother you.
All right. No worries. No worries. Like I say, we have a lot of problem with the golf carting around here. You know, everybody gets out.
We don't normally come out.
We never
the club
come out.
was closed, so we
Never,
went out to the Greek place to get some food.
All right, then we'll take care. And it was nice meeting you.
All right.
Oh, all right.
You ever need anything, call me.
Okay.
Serious.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you.
So, take care.
All right.
We got a good update. So that the joke will very much be on that incredibly smug police chief that you saw in that video there, Mary O'Connor. But I just want to briefly say, because we didn't initially cover this story before the update, that's as gross as anything I've seen in a long time. Like the entitlement in every gesture, every facial expression, every statement. They thank you for your service. No, you're not thanking him for his service. You're thanking him for the casual corruption where people in power get away with any petty little thing that they want by asking about whether the camera's on. And then when it is on, not caring, still going forward with the corruption. Like I'd prefer that this not be videotaped, but you know what? I'm gonna push through that concern and do it anyway. I'm the police chief, let me go. And in return, here's my card. Maybe if you need a little bit of help, I'll give you help. What sort of favor do you think might be called in on that? Anyway, the good update is that Mary O'Connor, pictured in that, the Tampa police chief, has resigned from her position after an internal affairs investigation. So that's good. It was videotaped, thank God, and we got consequences. That said, Elise, what do you think about what you just saw?
I'm surprised that there's a resignation because that really rarely happens. When it comes to police, there's just a culture of, we stick with our buddies. But it's good to know that in this case, there was a positive ending to it. And you just have to think to at least my initial thought to myself is, how often does this happen in every single city and community in this country when it's not videotaped?
Yeah, 100%. And not just for the actual police chief, like their kids, their friends. I mean, the influence peddling to get away with it, whatever you want. And the cop instantly fell in the line. Oh, I thought I recognized you. Yeah, no, do whatever you want. If you'd like to shoot me, you can just get away with it. Would you like to rob people in front of me? Instantly knew what she was doing, what his role in this interaction would be, and very smoothly and comfortably moved into that role. I don't know exactly what might, if anything, happen to that cop. And of course, by the way, I don't like his response, but that is a form of like abuse of power to obviously pressure your subordinate to do something. I would have loved for him to be like, oh, you're the police chief. Oh, well then you should have known better. I would have loved that. But that's probably not gonna happen because the clear implication is that if he doesn't comply, he could lose his job. So if I were him, I probably would have been terrified, by what was being implied there. I don't know, Elise. Do you think he should have been braver despite that?
I think that in every case, yes, it'd be great if the, cops that are, on the ground are, sticking to what the rules are despite, who they're serving. But yeah, no, I don't blame a cop for, recognizing that this is technically their boss and, I have to act accordingly now because we know the police culture. Of course, police officers know the police culture and, the consequences of not, being friendly and making a switch as soon as you recognize you need to.
Yeah, just going along. Yeah, 100%. Anyway, we had a statement. How much time do we have? Do we have time to get in the statement? I think we do. We had a statement from the mayor, Jane Castor, who says the Tampa Police Department has a code of conduct that includes high standards for ethical and professional behavior that apply to every member of our police force. As the chief of the police, you are not only to abide by and enforce those standards, but to also lead by example. That clearly did not happen in this case. It is unacceptable for any public employee, and especially the city's top law enforcement leader, to ask for special treatment because of their position. Public trust in Tampa's police department is paramount to our success as a city and community. Yeah, well, and more importantly, to do that sort of thing on tape. Because let's be clear, if there wasn't tape, there wouldn't be any consequences. First of all, we probably never would have heard about it, and you have to see it sometimes. I have read arguments against body cameras in some cases. There are some ways that it can potentially complicate certain types of investigations and all that. That said, and by the way, having videotape of clear illegal acts being committed is no guarantee of justice. That is very clear. But in many cases, we have only gotten justice because we were thankful enough to have it on tape. And I think this is 100% one of those cases. Any final thoughts, Elise, before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Any reform when it comes to police is something. But we just have to remember where the origins of policing came from. In the North, it's to dispel strikes. In the South, it was to catch enslaved people who were running away. And so, that has trickled down 400 years later to today. And you can see that by how people police now. And so, actual, funding changes and institutional changes and priority changes is how we're going to, actually see a reduction in police brutality. But yes, body camera is great for, catching the crime when it happens.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.